Hey guys, welcome back to the news. The Catholic Archbishop of the Sokoto Diocese, Bishop Matthew Kukah, had, made some certain statements regarding the Nigerian leadership, where he described President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his predecessor Muhammad Buhari and other previous heads of state as leaders who found themselves in power by accident. Kukah made these remarks during his keynote address at the official commissioning of Start Right School's new building and the 4th Amaka Ndoma Ebo Memorial Lecture in Abuja. Now, Bishop Kukah emphasized that it was evident none of these leaders were fully prepared before assuming office, especially in a world where the demands of leadership are rapidly evolving. He lamented the fundamental elements missing in Nigerian leadership is knowledge. Now, Bishop Kukah provided a historical context to his argument, highlighting the accidental nature of leadership transitions in Nigeria. He noted that President Bola Tinubu, who claimed to be prepared for the role, is struggling to get off the ground. Someone that once said he will hit the ground running is struggling to get off the ground. Tinubu, who took over from Buhari, who had already given up. Buhari succeeded Jonathan, who thought he would retire after being deputy governor but was thrust into power by circumstances. Jonathan, who succeeded Yar'Adua, who had planned to return to teaching at Adamawa Bello University after his governorship. Yar'Adua in turn succeeded Obasanjo, who was unexpectedly released from prison to become president. Now, Kukah stressed, while the world has changed, the expectations of leadership have not. Expressed concerns that democracy in Nigeria appears to be malfunctioning under successive administration, despite the nation's embrace of democratic principles of one man, one vote. The fundamental issue in governance is knowledge, and our Nigerian leaders need a deep understanding of their environment. Now, Bishop Kukah's comments comes at a crucial time, when so many persons are observing this Tinubu's administration. The Catholic Archbishop of Sokoto Diocese described Nigeria's past and present leaders, including Buhari and Tinubu, as unprepared and accidental leaders, where he stressed the need for a knowledge-based governance, highlighting how many leaders had assumed office without being fully prepared for the evolving demands of leadership, like President Bola Tinubu. Kukah's remarks was made during his keynote address at the official commissioning of Start Right School's building and the 4th Amaka Ndoma Eba Memorial Lecture in Abuja. Now, starting from Bishop Kukah's comments regarding accidental leadership, those that found themselves in a big position accidentally. I don't think it's accidentally, because they've planned it out. It was a well thought out plan. They strategized, like Tinubu, whom many people call the master strategist, must have strategized, must have plotted and consulted with so many persons even before embarking on this journey. So it wasn't an accidental journey for Tinubu. It wasn't an accidental journey for Buhari, because they all campaigned, they consulted far and wide, and those that voted for them voted for them. They did not come into power accidentally. But when you look at their leadership pattern, you will see that yes, indeed, it was more like an accidental leadership, because these guys, especially Tinubu, was never prepared to rule this country. Imagine Obasanjo blasting Tinubu, lambasting Tinubu, Obasanjo. And instead of this Tinubu's administration to take note of Obasanjo's constructive criticisms, They chose to insult him instead. They chose to lash back at him instead, saying Obasanjo, he should, is not the rightful person to make such comment about Tinubu. I wonder, this government that doesn't go well with criticisms, that doesn't bond well with anybody that criticizes them. Instead of this government to take note of their failures, what they are doing wrong, they will tend to attack whosoever attacks this government. So by interpretation, Bishop Kukah has said that Mr. President was an accidental discharge, which means Nigerians have been hit by a stray bullet. I think the only thing Tinubu prepared for was to make Nigerians suffer. Tinubu really prepared very well in that aspect, to make Nigerians suffer, to plunge Nigeria into hardship and extreme poverty, which is quite unfortunate. But God is bigger than this government, because at the end of the day, Nigerians are survivors. We will definitely survive, but it is not easy for the masses. And this Tinubu's administration is hell-bent on frustrating any move for one to, see the light at the end of the tunnel. At this point, there is no light at the end of the tunnel. Tinubu, the APC, they are working very hard to make sure that Nigerians does not see the light at the end of the tunnel, because they know that they will lose out if we surely do. We all know each administration had its own criticisms. Obasanjo's administration had a lot of criticisms. Jonathan's administration had, a few number of criticisms. Buhari's administration, had a larger number of criticisms. But you see, this Tinubu's administration, this is more like a renewed shege, because instead of these leaders, working towards improving economic hardship and the economic sufferings, they are more focused on the 2027 election. That is the most baffling thing about this current administration. They are majorly focused on the 2027 elections. Some will say, oh, we should not criticize the government, we should pray for the government. For how long? For how long should we pray for this government? The government that they said we should pray for, are they praying for us? Are they doing right by us? Are they treating us well? They are not. So how can they say Nigerians should pray for the government to be better? Prayer is not the answer to everything. Sometimes we need to put our hands together to make this country great. And one thing about our leaders is the reflection of the people will be seen in the leaders. Nigerians, our hands are not totally clean. Few of us can testify that at this point, some of us are guilty of this treatment we are receiving, because at the end of the day, some persons will go out tomorrow and take 10,000 naira to sell their vote for the APC, and then tomorrow they come back and say, oh, had it been I knew, I wouldn't have sold my vote, I wouldn't have supported this political party or the other. So my country people, according to Bishop Kukah, Buhari and Tinubu were accidental leaders. I'm dropping here. Kindly share your thoughts on this.